This is an image that every person, not just women, but women, men, cisgender, non-binary, LGBT, heterosexual, should look at. And they should think to themselves, this right here, that's courage, that's bravery, and that's inspiring. We should speak out for this young woman. If you have the ability to speak out for this young woman, you should use it. I'm speaking out for this young woman, and I am speaking out against the people that demean her sacrifice. Thanks, guys. Yesterday, a girl was arrested in Iran for one of the most ridiculous and insane things that a person could be arrested for. This young woman was accosted by the morality police because her hair was showing outside of her hijab. During a struggle with the police, her garments were torn, and in protest, she removed her clothing and threw it at the security officers. She went on to protest by walking around looking like she does now. And of course, in today's society in Iran, this is a moral sin. Now, this was posted by a journalist, an Iranian journalist and activist who already has had encounters with the Iranian moral police. And she said here, in Iran, a student harassed by her university's morality police over her improper hijab didn't back down. She turned her body into a protest, stripping to her underwear and marching through campus, defying a regime that constantly controls women's bodies. Her act is a powerful reminder of Iranian women's fight for freedom. Yes, we use our bodies like weapons to fight back a regime that kills women for showing their hair. This happened at Tehran Science and Research University. She has since been arrested by the authorities. Be her voice. Hashtag women, life, freedom. Now, she updated this just recently by saying, the authorities in Iran are now claiming that a young woman who courageously removed her clothes in protest against harassment by the morality police at her university suffers from psychological illness and has been admitted to a mental health hospital. Now, this is something that obviously men throughout history, regardless of civilization, whether it was in America or in Iran, have used as an excuse to punish women for speaking up. That they're mentally ill, that they're naggy. There was even a portion of our time in which women were lobotomized for speaking out against their husbands. She goes on to say, the accusation of mental instability is a familiar tactic by the Islamic Republic. In 2014, when I launched the My Stealthy Freedom campaign against compulsory hijab, the regime used similar lies against me, claiming I had a mental breakdown, undressed myself on the London subway, and was assaulted by 3 men. This is how they attempt to undermine those who resist their oppression. One student who witnessed the entire incident says, on Saturday, November 2nd, we saw the university's security and besieged forces trying to forcibly drag a female student into the security room under the pretext of her not wearing a proper hijab. She resisted, and in the struggle, her hoodie was pulled off, leaving her with only her undergarments underneath. Shocked, the security officers let her go, after which, in a moment of rage, she removed her pants and threw them at the officers. This eyewitness account directly contradicts the regime's narrative and shows the extent of brutality Iranian women face for the most basic acts of defiance. This woman has been forcibly hospitalized under psychiatric supervision, marking the start of torture and soon after the cycle of forced confessions. I believe her life is now in serious danger. I urge international media, human rights organizations, and the international community to support her before it is too late. Let's be her voice. So today, I would like to be her voice. This is not just an Iranian problem. This is a human problem. The rights of women have been disputed for all of time. The women's right to vote, the women's right to have a bank account, the women's right to drive. These are things that we talk about in our society that we think are common sense for those of us that are logical human beings. The equality of the genders, the idea that all human beings have the same rights regardless of ethnicity or age or sexuality or gender. It's absolutely insane that we live during a time of such great technological advances, yet still, as human beings, we are so far behind when it comes to the recognition of other people's rights, their inherent rights. This young woman showed a bravery and a sense of courage that almost no other person in America can possibly even start to understand. But I'll tell you this. When we talk about the Handmaid's Tale and we talk about MAGA Republicans and we say that things could possibly go down those routes, and people say things along the lines of, you're just being paranoid, you're just exaggerating, there aren't people like this that exist within American society. I'm going to point out exactly how full of shit you are. You see, in these comments, for the most part, there's a lot of really good comments, a lot of support. People are giving, for the most part, pretty positive feedback on this young women's protest. But as you scroll through here and you look past all of these supportive comments, you're going to come across comments like these. I wouldn't call that courageous. I'd call that stupid. And when you click this person's profile, which of course has the upside down flag, you can scroll through this and you can see the death cult for sure, probably all doubled boosted 2 times, while sharing a tweet that says Dims love to celebrate their cult of death. You find other comments from people like these that say all these imbeciles calling her brave. For what? Walking down the street almost naked? A shameless opinion of a shameless people. Pornography has caused your moral compasses to go haywire. And when you click this person's Twitter handle, you'll see that they are anti-woke. This is anti-woke. This is anti-woke to these people. You can go over here and you can look at this guy, who's the Penny Mafia. Says courageous? With a question mark. Dumb shit. You click on his. He's a jilted Bernie lover that says now everything must burn. And as you click through here, of course, you see all kinds of anti-Kamala Harris posts. Kamala says she's going to bring in our cost first day of. Why hasn't she done it already? There's anti-Jennifer Lopez, anti-Cardi B, anti-Oprah, pro-Tulsi Gabbard. These are Americans. These are people that are in our society and that vote specifically against women's rights. You can click this one. You can find Just Dessert says, not my country, but I'd argue she's idiotic. She knew this was self-murder. What is this guy's handle? American versus Biden. When you click on it, you find all kinds of anti-Semitic posts from this person, including this one that says, sooner or later the Jews will finally cross the borderline of American patience as they have done all throughout their history. Goes on that says that the white man will be punishing them. You can click this one. This guy's name is Something Ain't Right. Said this doesn't bring about change in Iran. It just reinforces their morals to go harder on all those that break their laws. When you click his handle, what's the first thing you see? A Trump picture and a picture that's pinned that says, kiss my MAGA ass. Women and women's rights can kiss his MAGA ass. And let's remember this, when you say, oh, well, you know, this isn't something that's going to happen in America. This isn't something that Americans are for. Let's not forget that when Donald Trump says dumb shit like this.
People told me about 4 weeks ago, I was saying, no, I want to protect the people. I want to protect the women of our country. I want to protect the women. Sir, please don't say that. Why? They said, we think it's very inappropriate for you to say. So why?
Why would it be inappropriate? Why would a campaign tell a former president running for president that telling women that you're going to protect them, why would that be inappropriate? Would it be because this former president was held liable for assaulting women? Would it be because this former president has demeaned women and has actually talked about essaying them?
They said, sir, I just think it's inappropriate for you to say, pay these guys a lot of money. Can you believe it? I said, well, I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not. I'm going to protect them.
And what do you think the people that make women wear hijabs also say? Do you think that possibly the people making these women wear hijabs, do you think they say things along the lines of, I don't care what the women say, I'm going to protect them whether they want it or not? Because I think they do. And for all the MAGA Republicans out there that say things along the lines of, you're just making this up. This isn't the type of thing that happens in American society. We've moved way on from that. I want you to take a look at something. These are pictures. These are pictures of Iranian women in the 1970s, before the revolution. Iranian women that were a part of the sciences. Iranian women that were allowed to walk freely through the streets with hair exposed, with face exposed, with skin exposed, enjoying the freedoms of being human, the freedoms that every single person on earth deserve, regardless of gender. And then I want you to take a look at what is going on in Iran today. And that is a government and a people that are enforcing the wearing of the hijab on young women, that are persecuting, that are prosecuting these young women by taking them into custody and then putting them in mental institutions. On Tuesday, if you believe in women's rights, if you believe in women's ability to access healthcare as they should be able to, and you're voting for Donald Trump, then you're a hypocrite. On Tuesday, Kamala Harris gets my vote because I stand with this young woman in Iran that is being persecuted for being a woman. I just want to show you one last image. This image right here. This is an image that every person, not just women, but women, men, cisgender, non-binary, LGBT, heterosexual, should look at. And they should think to themselves, this right here, that's courage, that's bravery, and that's inspiring. We should speak out for this young woman. If you have the ability to speak out for this young woman, you should use it. I'm speaking out for this young woman, and I am speaking out against the people that demean her sacrifice. Thanks, guys. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you next time.